Man, feeling like there's more that you want from your life, there's success that's on the horizon, there's this ideal life that you see yourself living is normal. I want to take some time in this video to talk to you and tell you about how I overcame that feeling, how I battled that feeling here still today, and how I don't get myself stuck in feeling like I'm not doing enough. First of all, let me remind you that feelings and emotions are typically fleeting. They come and go as they please. They're not consistent all the time. However, in this case, and this is something that I've noticed with my life, when I feel like something needs to change, when I feel like there is this drive, there's this push for me to go change something about my life, it doesn't go away. That's the feeling, or those are the feelings that you need to tap into and lean into, because that's you or your subconscious trying to tell you that something is off. Something is wrong. You need to lean into that and have that talk with yourself like, hey, okay, where do I see my life going? What's different about the life that I want to live versus the life that I want to live right now? And really feel out that difference, because feeling out that difference will give you the clarity as to where you need to go. When you're scrolling social media and you see all these people who are similar to you in age, status, demographic, what have you, and they have what you deem success, don't compare yourself to them. Life circumstances and all the things that we typically cannot control may have played a role in them being where they're at and then being able to showcase where they're at. Comparing yourself to said creator might make you feel like you're not doing enough. It might foster that feeling that you're not doing enough because you see this person who is doing the things that you want to do, living the life that you want to live, and they have what you want to have and all of those things. However, we don't know how their life played out from when they started life to the point in which you see them. Your life is completely different from theirs. Your experience is completely different from theirs. And in turn, you cannot compare yourself to them because you're not comparing apples to apples. No two lives are the exact same. Don't waste your time comparing yourself to another creator. Instead, devise a game plan. When it comes to making this game plan, there's two really big things in the very beginning that started it for me. First thing, I realized that I was spending way too much time on social media, bro. I'm spending time on Instagram, and I don't really have TikTok on my phone, but if I did, I would scroll a little bit. Like Facebook, Twitter, like all of them. I was spending way too much time there. And I'm scrolling, looking at dudes' videos like, damn, why don't my videos look like that? Why doesn't my body look like that? Like, I'm comparing myself to these people subconsciously the whole time, just scrolling. And that was a really, really big part of it for me. Like, damn, I'm comparing myself to these people. And I didn't want to be that person. You feel me? I didn't want to be that. But I realized that, number one. And number two, they are living a certain life, what have you. And I'm living a certain life. But there's a way that I envision living my life. So there's a gap there, right? I'm currently here. The life I want to live is over here. And there's a gap. And that's okay. But realizing that there's a gap creates clarity. If you can realize, okay, if you can take a step back, I'm currently doing this, I'm currently doing that, versus my ideal version of myself is currently doing this, currently doing that, or he will be doing said thing, right? Then you have point A, point B. Now it's time to lay the groundwork to get you from point A to point B. And so when it comes to making this plan, your groundwork to get you from point A to point B, I always thought that you had to lay out everything. Like you had to have every point planned out, feel me? Like you had to know how many steps it was going to take, how many years it was going to take. You had to know everything. And I wasted a lot of time with that before I realized I was wrong. Like I was completely wrong about how this planning thing works. Like, yeah, you want to have a rough idea as to how long it's going to take and all of that, but spending time obsessing as to how long it's going to take, how many steps it's going to take and all of that was a waste of time. And I wasted a lot of time with that. So I want to save you some time, right? What I ended up doing is just figuring out what the next step was. Okay, I'm at point A, I want to get to point B, and I see, okay, example, I want to go get a new car. What's the first step in that? Okay, realize how much money I want to spend on a car. That's your first step. You can't go get a new car if you don't know how much you want to spend, right? And the same thing applies to life. If I want to change my life, what is the first thing that I can do right now that allows me to change? In this grand scheme of all of this, the first step for me was deleting the socials off my phone. Now I'm not wasting time scrolling social media and looking at all these other people and making myself feel like I'm not doing enough. That was just putting me in a really bad mental space. You feel me? But you don't always need to have the whole thing figured out. Just figure out what your next step is. Man, feeling like you're not doing enough, I would say, is very, very common. And I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. It's just laying down the groundwork to figure out, one, why you're feeling that way, two, where do you want to go, and three, figuring out what your next step is. It doesn't have to be this grand old scheme like I was just saying. You ain't got to have everything figured out. As a matter of fact, you really only have to have your next step figured out. Yeah, there's a big overarching theme. You want to have a grand idea as to where you want to go. The thing that helped me is just taking that next step, realizing what that next step is, and just actively taking steps to get there. That not only provides you a light roadmap as to where to go, it allows you to feel like you're making progress. Oh, and then of course, like I keep saying, delete the socials, bro. Just get them out. Get them out. We don't need them. They're a lot of times nothing but a waste of time. Get the socials off your phone, figure out what your next step is, and go crazy. That's really it, man. That's all I got, because that's what's helped me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know, because I know, at least for me, this is very, very apparent in my life, and I can imagine it's very, very apparent in other people's. You feel me? So let me know down below, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.